Travessa do Calao, where the past and present meet. Cool home alley where the breezes flow through narrow lanes where the Calao boats go.
Have I filmed this before? Calao, Travessa do Calao. This little lane right here. I don't think I've ever filmed it. But this comes right out to, we're in the Patana area. I'll try to describe a little bit about that in a minute, but the waterfront is right over there, Patana Market. And then you have this little spot with all these arcades in here. And then we have our major road right in here. And we are going to be going down in this little alley right here. So you're going to hear some music first, and I'll do a preview of it. And then we're going to come back and do the walk and talk. So this is going to be Calao, Travessa do Calao. So stay tuned. Looks like an interesting street. And I'll tell you more about Patana as well. We got a street in Macau, and we also got some music for it as well. And you probably want to know the location, so that's behind me. And you can see it's not too far from the water, and there's a reason that this is named Travessa de Calao. So Calao are these boats that were made. They're like little fisherman boats, and I guess they were pretty popular in South China from the Portuguese. And so this is named after them. And they were around, 16th, 17th century, so that would have been like right around the beginning when the Portuguese first started settling in this area. And the other name that the street has is translated from Chinese into English called Cool Alley Lane. So the reason it's Cool Alley is because it is like a Lingnan style architecture. So I'll put a picture of some Lingnan behind me. But basically the purpose of this kind of architecture was to keep the houses and the alleys cool. So it had a nice ventilation airflow that would go through. Plus it also protected from the sun. So the music will reflect both of those names, the Calao, the boats, and also the Cool Alley Lane. So of the Lingnan style. So anyways, we're going to show you what this street looks like, and it looks quite a bit different than you imagine based on that information. And also this was on reclaimed land. So Calao was something that the Portuguese did to commemorate some of the history of Macau. So they called it Travessa do Calao after the boats that used to be prevalent throughout that area 400 or 500 years ago. Okay, Travessa do Calao, Macau.
In the heart of Macau, where the old streets wind, there's a place called Cala, where history you'll find, with Lingnan designs cooling the summer's heat. Travessa do Calao, where the past and present meet. Cool home alley where the breezes flow through narrow lanes where the Calao boats go. In the shade of the walls where the stories are told. Cool home alley, your secrets unfold. In the days of old, when the Portuguese sailed, the Calao boats were seen, their presence never failed. They named this alley for the slang they spoke. Travessa do Calao, where the echoes awoke. Cool home alley where the breezes flow through narrow lanes where the Calao boats go. In the shade of the walls where the stories are told. Cool home alley, your secrets unfold.
Okay, so here we are in the start of our street. It's kind of interesting spot. So we're gonna head on down. So let me tell you a little bit about Patana. So this used to be a Chinese village, and it was on the outskirts of what is now, well, what was once the Portuguese settlement of Macau. And so this particular area would have been north, and it had like pirates and stuff like that, so it's kind of interesting. And it was built right on the water, and then they did like reclamation. It's kind of interesting, this little alley. There's like a thing right up here. I was looking at this building from the outside, so I think this building might have a lot of history. We're in this little courtyard right now, but I just want to tie it into this building real quick. Check this out. You got trees growing in it and everything. And I saw the front part earlier. And the front part is up against a busy road. I don't know if I'll go back to that or not. I kind of want to keep going down our Target Street, but that's on the other side is like a really old building. But I guess it'd be like over there, so we'd have to walk all the way around like that. But I want to keep on going down our alley. There's a haircut place. So this is called Calao. Let me see, there's more alleys down this way too. So that's kind of cool. The lights are coming on as well. I don't think I filmed this alley before either. In Leo. Yeah, I don't think I have. There's a barber shop right there. Okay, so let's just keep on exploring. So we're basically coming up to the mountainside, and on that, where that mountain is at is where Camoish Park is at. So historically this would have been a small little village called Patani Village, Chinese settlement, around the Portuguese settlement, which was the historic heart of Macau. And so there's some really famous pirate that's from this area as well. I feel like there's like something on the camera lens. And let me see here. So we're still on Calao, and now we're just kind of in this particular street, and I believe this street, let me kind of take a look here real quick. This street is Palmyra. So Palmyra is where the historic, the stuff that we were just at, they built into the ocean. So historically the ocean probably came up to maybe like one of these buildings probably. So we're gonna walk further down in a moment. So this is Travessa du Calao. Let me see if this is still the same or not. So now we're in a Beco Concha. So this in here would have been more older, more land-based. Where we started would have been reclaimed land, but probably reclaimed about 150 years ago, late 1800s probably. And then yeah, up there is Camoish Park. Okay, so now you get a little bit of an idea of what this all looks like. And this is our Target Street straight ahead. And I kind of want to go to where that tree started at, because that was kind of an interesting spot. So I think what we're going to do is go down that way. So we're going to go down and around slightly, and I'll explain it all. But this Palmyra Street used to be right where the waterfront would be historically, the older building. So we're basically going to walk all the way around in a circle is my plan. Show off some of these older buildings. Lenzios. Okay, so Palmyra followed the ocean. So everything that was to the other side, so that Palmyra just kind of keeps following down. And just says on the side there's some other interesting stuff like this dragon right here as well. So that right there is called Dragon Alley. And now we're going to walk back in a circle back to our Target Street, and I want to get to that other side of that little alley that we were at as well. But there's some cool stuff right in here too, which I'm going to show you. So one of them is this hotel, another alley right there, like Plumas Lane. And this is kind of a beautiful building. Over there is Patane Library. So this would have been what would have been in the ocean historically when Patane was a village. And then once they reclaimed the land, they built that cool looking structure with these nice balconies, and then I think it went into disrepair, and then they had a revitalization program to paint it and then to turn it into a library. And then this right here, when we went into that little alley, that was over here. So those trees that are up on top of the building, that's what we saw in that alley. And so those trees are growing on this whole building with this arcade as well in here. So you can see the arcade right here. They call that the arcade, the over the roofs that are filling it up. And then you have all these trees, right? There's a tree there and trees here, right? So they're all the way around it. Is that a public bathroom right there? Some old style stuff. So this is all part of this abandoned building. And then you have, so that's a grocery store right there. But right here would be all the abandoned stuff. Right there. And then you have this arcade that's overhead of us too, right? So this building is the building that we saw from the alley. So let's go back down our Target Street again. That's the waterfront down that way. There's a harbor down in that direction where that's kind of relatively new in the sphere of Macau's existence. So this is back to Calao again. And then that little alley right in here, that's where we saw that tree. So we're gonna go back there. And then I think what we might do is just call this the courtyard, which is Narcissus, which is that one. So those trees that are up on top of that building, that's the one that we saw from the main street there. So yeah, so basically this whole building right here, they had the grocery store, which was on one side of it, but then this particular side here, so that is all functional, an apartment and a grocery store. And then this one with the trees up here, there's more abandoned there too, but this was the one that we saw with the trees on top. Anyways, you got a 2-for-1 on this particular one. That is Slice in Macau for you.